Hi, the beautiful souls. Welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. And as always, in all my videos, please take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. I had a lovely chat with Spirit, and the topic of shame came up during our conversations. And Spirit talked to me at length about the increased number of people who are feeling that vibration, who are feeling shame, who are sitting in that lesson of learning with the vibration of feeling shameful for those lessons and that learning. The other thing that Spirit talked a lot about the shame that is happening right now is we are inadvertently and sometimes deliberately shaming each other. And I was really taken back by that because I tend to stay in alignment with, things that are opposite to shame. So I leaned in there and had a good old listen with Spirit, and this is what Spirit had to say. We are all here on a journey of learning, and some of us have some lessons that are really quick and easy to learn, and sometimes the lessons are really difficult, and sometimes it's an uphill battle for a very long time with our learning. And often we make decisions with our learning that may leave us in this space of, oh, that didn't work out, and now I'm feeling ashamed or embarrassed. And one thing that Spirit said to me was, yeah, you're feeling the learning. You're feeling the learning, and you're feeling the healing. You're healing it as you learn. And it's important that we kind of support each other through that, but it's also really important to support yourself. The A feeling of shame is something that we can harness. It is something that we are feeling within ourselves. So when we are feeling something within ourselves, it's time to tap in there and allow ourselves to heal that feeling. And what was really interesting was when I really sat with the vibration of the shame that's going on, people are even feeling ashamed for picking up a virus, for getting sick. And I sat there and I thought, it's interesting when there's a difference of opinions, and when you're on the opposite end of the majority of the opinions, the feelings of shame that we may bring into our alignment and sit in. And one thing that Spirit was very clear on is roll up your sleeves and get back at the learning and the healing. And when we kind of tackle our learning and our healing through the vibration of I'm healing and I'm learning, rather than I am ashamed, or I am unhealed, or I am sick, when we shift into the I am healing and I am learning and I am working on wellness, or whatever it is that you're working on, whatever that is that you're going through, when you shift out of shame and into I am healing or I am working on that, do you see the difference in the vibration that it does have? Now we've all been in a similar situation. We've all been embarrassed or ashamed of either a decision or something that has happened. Me, I have been there. There was a time where I was ashamed for my mediumship. I was ashamed with what I do. And it had a lot to do with, the fear of being judged. And I think that is one of the biggest things when it comes to the vibration of shame, is we feel this whole judgment piece around us. And one thing that I have truly learned is, if they're going to judge me anyway, I might as well make the best out of my learning. And that's so true. If it didn't go well for me and I've learned a very valuable lesson, rather than sit in a shame, I lean into, well, I learned that wasn't going to work, or I'm learning, or I'm healing, or I'm working on that. Sometimes shame is old programming. You know, it may have been handed down to us. If it doesn't work out, you should be ashamed, or you should be ashamed if it wasn't perfect. We are often taught shame, and we're often taught a few things. There are a few hand-me-down vibrations or lessons that we are given. And even though, our teachers and our parents may have been offering their best that they could bring, I do feel that some of the shame we are healing from, that shame from the shame of it being handed down to us, and the shame of what things are supposed to look like. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is changing your thoughts into I am healing and I am learning from that. And I always insert that, even when I'm perhaps under the weather, rather than saying, oh, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. I will say my body is healing from that. My body is healing from that. It has a very different vibration, and I tend to not sit in things as long when I insert a shift in in my belief. I insert a shift in the vibration. I shift things rather than sit in something that doesn't feel great to me. So rather than sit in shame or sit in something that doesn't feel good, I will insert a better feeling word, a better feeling vibration, if you will. I'm learning this today. Rather than being hard on myself for the lesson, I'm learning and I'm healing. I'm healing through that today. You see the difference in how that feels. I'm healing through that today. And I find that when I personally insert that, it kind of takes away the feeling of shame, the feeling of not being enough, the feeling of tripping and falling. Yep, I've tripped and I have fallen, but I'm learning. Boy, am I learning. And even when the learning is tough, because it is, let's be brutally honest here. Learning is tough. And sometimes we make decisions that teach us even more about the experience that we're going through. And one thing that my spirit guides have been very, very clear with, and so many spirit guides that I have channeled for other people, is chin up, you're learning. Chin up. Chin up, and being proud of our lessons that we're learning, and being even the tough ones. And that's a big one. I've even sat with spirit myself and, and said, oh my gosh, like, why is this one so tough? Why am I sitting in such mucky water? And what spirit says to me is, yeah, the water's mucky, but you still have to go forward in that momentum of healing and learning in order to get to some clarity. And I think one of the greatest things that I personally have done over the years is really understand that space of shame and that space of fear was something that I was truly growing myself. We do grow certain things, even if it's handed down to us. If someone has handed down the feeling of shame to you, you're still growing it and feeding that vibration. Shifting out of shame takes a little bit of practice, and shifting out of shame takes a little bit of reprogramming, perhaps what's up there, and reprogramming how you're looking at it. I'm learning and I'm healing. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard. And I even go off and do these little rants with myself. I literally talk like that to myself. Today's lesson was brutal. Today I have learned. Today I have some healing work to do. And I am moving forward in that momentum. I literally self-talk like that in order to interrupt what may be programmed up here, or perhaps some thoughts about how ashamed I might feel. I think that the more we kind of tap in and acknowledge those thoughts as well, I think it helps move along with with healing, and move along with the lessons when we insert love and light, and insert some grace, and insert some understanding that perhaps we did the best we could, or perhaps we were learning how to heal, and it doesn't always feel great, but I don't have to be ashamed of my learning. I can move forward. And when things have been really mucky, or perhaps our lessons weren't done, or we didn't learn them with the best of intentions, sometimes inserting forgiveness moves us forward as well. I do hope that this video on shame and healing and understanding the learning opportunities that we have on our journey has brought you a little bit of insight and perhaps an extra tool in your own spiritual toolbox to help you work through some of that shame or some of the things that you may be processing and working on in your journey. I am wishing you, as always, love, light, blessings, and a spirit-guided day.